morning, everyone. It is 8:30 on Monday, May the 18th, and time for our morning situation brief. Sorry about the the folks that put us on hold there. We had to kick everybody off and dial back in again this morning. So, first of all, no changes to the National Terrorism Advisory System overnight. Snapshot of the region, updated numbers from last week. We should get new numbers in here shortly for the unaccompanied children effort. No declaration updates to talk about this morning. As far as damage assessment, the IA damage assessments in Oklahoma were completed late last week, and the PDAs start this week. No fire management grants to talk about this morning. So with that, we'll switch over to the geo platform this morning. Still got some rain out there. Marty from the Weather Service is going to talk about that in just a moment. In the meantime, looking at our state EOCs, New Mexico, Arkansas, and Louisiana are at level 4. Texas went to level 4 as of 7 o'clock, level 3 as of 7 o'clock this morning, and Oklahoma remains at level 3 as well. The region here is at enhanced watch with extended hours. Continuing on and looking at some of the events with the flooding, I'll turn that later on. Right now, Oklahoma has one shelter open for 27 people, and Texas has 5 shelters for 24 people. Power outages this morning continue to trend down after a relatively quiet day yesterday. Oklahoma is at 1,800. Texas is at almost 700. Louisiana, 865. Arkansas is at 279. And New Mexico is at 0. So we'll turn the event layer back on. See the shelters, the road closures, the SAR assets, all are in there, and we'll turn those off. Now we'll turn it over to Marty to tell us about the weather.
Okay, thanks. Looking at the map here, it looks like we have a number of flood watches in effect across portions of East Texas down to Southeast Texas, and heavy rain threat will continue through the morning hours into the Arklatex. Looking at a second round of showers and thunderstorms developing later on this afternoon. If you can go to the next slide, mainly it's going to be southeast New Mexico into the Pecos Valley of Texas, and with that is also a heavy rain threat. The heavy rain and flooding threat for the Arklatex will be in the morning, and the New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma Panhandle threats will be later on this afternoon as another storm system begins to wind up across these areas. Tuesday, it looks like we have a similar setup. It's going to be mainly west and northwest Texas and eastern New Mexico again, with the heavy rain and flooding threat possible across those areas. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday looks like we'll be beginning to taper off on our severe weather flooding threat, but as we've seen in the past, the forecast has often been changing in spatial locations as well as timing and intensity. So we still have a lot of uncertainty as we go into the latter part of the week, but for the next 2 days, North Texas and portions of New Mexico look like they'll be under the gun, with the continued river flooding threat across East Texas throughout the week. Okay, the next slide. Next slide will outline pretty much what areas we've been looking at for the day 1 weather hazards. And the top left shows kind of what we're thinking of as far as the slight risk of severe weather down across West Texas and southern New Mexico, and the heavy rain and flooding further north, and areas to the east across Louisiana. The Arklatex will be mainly morning event, kind of tapering off through the afternoon. Okay, the next slide. Oh, wait, day 2 and 3, yeah, going back to that previous slide, that shows where the slight risk of severe thunderstorms will be on Tuesday. And it looks like, again, West Texas with heavy rainfall across the Panhandle and western Oklahoma. Okay, next slide. Here's our precipitation. Looks like we're going to see up to 5 inches of rain through the week, possible across West Texas, southern part of the Panhandle. And through Tuesday morning, the bullseye of rainfall will be North Louisiana into East Texas. You can see on the top right, the image there is our current river status. And lots of rivers in minor to moderate flood. We have higher flood areas across pretty much the coastal bend up toward the northwest of there. And those areas probably won't see as much rainfall in the next couple of days, so we should look for improving conditions across South Texas rivers. As far as the East Texas, we may see a spike later today, and North Louisiana and Arkansas due to the rains that are currently engaged there. Okay, and the next slide. Our drought monitor is showing some improvement. Still have a little bit D4, D3 drought conditions across portions of North Texas, across the western Red River Valley, and the Panhandle and part of central Texas, but it's much more improved since we've seen the last couple months or longer with those D4 drought conditions mitigated. And the next slide shows our space weather, and things have been improving. We had a G1 storm earlier, but that sort of dissipated, and now we're looking at quiet to slightly unsettled conditions for the next 3 days. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. If you happen to have a question for the Weather Service, go ahead and type it in the chat window if you're on the phone. Just ask your question. And while you're doing that, we'll take a look at the meetings going on around the region today, the ones in bold, and the rest of the week. A reminder, this afternoon at 1:30, the mitigation folks are having a brown bag lunch over in the Texas room, Russell Newman building. And on this day in history, Mount St. Helens erupted. And if you haven't seen this picture, that is the slow motion picture of Mount St. Helens blowing up. All right. Any questions this morning? All right. Hearing nothing on the phone, and I'll answer the chat window here in just a moment. Everyone have a great Monday. We'll talk to you later.